Hi and welcome back to Sustainable Teacher. If it is your first time here, my name is Leticia and I'm glad to meet you. And if you've been here before, I'm happy to see you again. In today's video we are going to keep going with the electricity topic and we will learn about circuits in series. So circuits in which all components are in the same wire, like in the same line. And we will learn how to apply the Ohm's law in series circuits. If this video sounds interesting to you, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. So just to remember, the Ohm's law is an equation that relates the three main data that characterize a circuit, which are voltage, resistance, and intensity. Voltage was the difference between electrical potential in 2 points in a circuit in a moment. Intensity is the rate, like the number of electrons passing through the circuit in 1 point in a moment. And the resistance is the ability or the capacity of each component in the circuit to make like a friction of the electrons, to avoid electrons passing through that point in the circuit. And the way to relate these three data is with the Ohm's law, which is V equals to R multiplied by I. The thing is that we can use this formula to isolate different values and calculate different things. If we want to calculate intensity, we isolate the I and we transfer the R that was multiplying to the other side of the equal with the V, and it will be dividing, so I equals to V divided by R. And if we want to isolate the I, it's the same with the R, so V divided with R. Remember that V represents voltage and is measured in volts. R represents resistance and is measured in ohms, and intensity is represented by the I and it's measured in amps or amperes. Usually when we talk about series circuits, what we want to calculate is the resistance in those circuits. So when we talk about series circuits and we want to calculate things in series circuits, usually we refer to resistance. And I want to focus a little bit about resistance before starting doing exercises, okay? So resistance is the ability or the material tendency to avoid electrons passing through. As I said in the previous video, it's like if you are in a car and you go over a road, of course, because cars don't float, the friction with the tires on the road is the resistance that you are finding, well, also with the wind, okay? So electrons inside the conductor, inside a wire, or when they are passing through different components, they also find resistance. And there is a component which is called resistor, okay? And usually, well, there are different types of resistors. They could be like resistor, thermal resistors, but usually when we think about a resistor, we think about this object, like in this picture. And as you can see, there are different bands, and each band is a color code, and its color code represents like an amount of energy, of voltage or resistance that the electricity, the current passing through that resistor will suffer, okay? This is not important, but I just wanted to explain it to you. You don't need to learn all the codes by heart or anything. It's just for you to know that they exist. So series circuit, as we talked before, is something like this. Like we have different components like light bulbs, and they are all in the same wire, in the same line. So if one light bulb breaks and the wire breaks, the circuit will be open and it won't work at all. Like the old Christmas light I told you in the previous video. So the Ohm's law applies, of course, to series circuits, but there is some small differences that I want to explain to you before starting doing exercises. In previous videos, as you see before, I made like a really simple exercise with just one value of each part in the Ohm's equation, Ohm's law, like one voltage, one intensity, and one resistance. But we can find sometimes more than one battery or more than one lamp, and to calculate the total value and to apply the Ohm's formula, we have to add them Okay, we have to add the value of all the independent batteries or cells, or if you want to calculate voltage, or all independent resistors or light bulbs or whatever, if we want to calculate resistance. Okay, and the intensity is always the same, because if you think, we said that the intensity is the rate, the number of electrons passing through the wire. As there is only one wire, they will always all pass by all the points in the circuit. So the intensity doesn't change, it's always the same in any point. Okay, so the only difference in series circuit is that if you want to calculate voltage, or if you want to calculate resistance, total voltage and total resistance, you have to add all the independent values. So let's do an exercise to see how it works. Imagine that we have a circuit like this with two resistors, okay, and one cell. The voltage in the cell is 10 volts, and the resistance in each resistor is 3 ohms in this one and 7 ohms in this one. So the question is, what is the intensity? Okay, we don't know the intensity. So to calculate intensity, first we have to add all the resistance. Okay, so total voltage, we already know it, is 10 volts. Intensity, well, it's not total intensity because it's always the same, is the thing that we have to calculate. And total resistance, we are going to calculate it right now, which is resistance 1. Let's say this is 1 and this is 2. Resistance 1 plus resistance 2, which is 3 ohms plus 7 ohms, which is 10 ohms. And now we can apply the Ohms formula, of course. So we isolate intensity, that is V divided by R. So this is 10 volts divided by 10 ohms, and of course this is 1 amp. Okay, so the answer for this circuit is 1. And that's it for today. I hope that now you understand better what is a series circuit, how to add things to calculate total voltage, total resistance, and of course, well, total intensity is always the same. Total intensity, let's say, in a circuit using the Ohm's law, when there is more than one component, that is more than one voltage value or more than one resistance value. Remember that you always have to add, and that's it. Leave it in the comments if you ever done anything like this before, if you knew about these formulas, if you have ever calculated series circuits before, or if you have any doubts, I will try to solve it. Everything you want to say, leave it in the comment, and of course, see you soon.